Here we are back again with another demo. I should get rid of my net graph again. From Kissme, playing Medic. I believe it's for a team called the Peppercock family. And I should say that had I known that you were on this team, I would have reviewed your demo much quicker because Weeks, John, and Zalfie, who is, I believe, Professor Oak, perhaps? Or Reginald Peppercock. Someone is on this roster. We go way back. Source OP, never forget. So, here we go. We're gonna have it be the all-the-time Kiss Me show. For this first mid here. And this looks a little fast, but it's alright, okay. Oh. Yeah, your pocket needs to address anyone that's coming under the valley like that. But you should still be okay. Yeah. So there you go. Points capped.
Time has been added.
Heal the people, do the stuff, no big deal. Also, my apologies if the audio in this becomes delayed. My Fraps has been being a real pain lately. So Ubers are about even. You lose Weeks and John. You gotta fall way out. Way out. This is still too close. Okay, so they killed 2 of your players. I assume Zalfie's Professor Oak. Zalfie kills a whole bunch of people. They don't build Uber very effectively.
Alert! The control point is being captured. Time has been added.
They're having internet trouble. Do prefer going this way as opposed to Gray Bridge, so that's good. Yep, good decision. Pull in the scout. Now you need to switch sides or go with your soldier. This heavy will pose an issue. There you go, Weeks dealt with. Yeah, this should be easy peas.
The control point is being contested.
So nothing really to remark on in that first round. Now we'll watch another one. Yeah, it's a good way to do your soldier rollout too. I always prefer to just face backwards there. Sometimes you'll get a really good spawn and you won't have to turn around, but for that situation it's not so bad. Your demo dies immediately, and so this mid's basically over for you. Your team may still win, but your surviving is the most important thing. Nope, your team will not be winning. No, you're still too close. You're right in going to spawn. Your initial instinct was correct. The reason you do that is pretty much you need your demo man to win mid. And if he dies, then it's pretty much over. And the chances of you dying there are really high. So, yeah. It's better for your whole team to die without getting healed than you survive in that situation. Alright, so you've got Uber because you survived. Now you need to go and use it. Yeah. That was a bad place to get forced in. I was too busy pontificating, but you guys should have made an effort to drop down and fight them as you were really close to Uber.
Our control point is being captured.
Oh, that back cap. Uh-oh. Turn around, soldier. Good decision there. Either your dodging is good in that case, or you got very lucky. I don't know which. I'm gonna assume that you did that intentionally, so that's good.
Time has been added.
If not, try and do it like that all the time. So, don't, it's good to buff, but in that situation your soldier was so close to choke, you can't take the beam off of him, because he almost got killed there. And you're bombing through. Nah, they're not gonna... So this is actually gonna be bad, because they're gonna Uber back on you and you're surrounded. Yeah, you're dead. Two things you could have done differently. Either you could have popped sooner, or later rather, tried to milk it a bit longer, so you can get closer to them, or force them out without popping. Or you need a lot more people to come through choke a lot faster
Control point is being contested.
in order for that to work. It's essentially up to your team to pick which one. I suppose you thought that they were going to have Uber on you, since you only took weeks through right away and everybody else was kind of slow on the uptick. John went sniper and he did not survive, but you trade, and you've lost your whole flank. You need to back up. Yeah. As soon as John died, you ought to... My positioning as a medic, I would just stare at that door. And as soon as you lost Zalfie, I assume Professor Oak is Zalfie. I may be wrong. As soon as you lost Professor Oak, it was Dunzo time for you.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
But they botch up the push pretty bad, so must be good dodging, putting the bodies between you and them. Now, I'm gonna say this because you probably could have figured out that they would back spawn because you were all stacking the point, which is probably what your intentions were, I hope.
Our control
You
point is being
probably could have dropped that Uber if need be. Because popping it on mid doesn't do anything for anybody. And dying there, they're not going to stop you from taking Spire just because you're dead. Like, it'll be fine no matter what. On this map, at least. There are some maps where it's easy to push out of your own last if they've got a shaky hold on second, even if they've capped. This is not one of those maps. So, if somebody attacks you on mid and they're all dead or whatever, and you're about to cap mid, or you have already capped mid, just let it go. Trust your team. See if you can get lucky. That's how I would do it anyways. So you know they've got a pyro, you Uber in. No, there's a problem. Need to kill the pyro. He's dead now. Alright, so your intention... Yeah. You did it right now. You want to have it such that you know where your demo is going to go, because it seemed like you were a little screwed up there. Okay, good. Zalfie got you that time. Don't be so afraid. You're winning this. Just stay at it. If anything, I would say heal your scouts more on these mids.
Time has been added.
essentially, you know, I'm sure from your play, I can tell you sort of know what's going on at least. I don't know you personally, so I'm not gonna say you're the greatest in the world, uh, or that you're not, you know, good. But the at mids, it seems like you're very afraid of uh, of what's going on, and you seem to be a little lost sometimes. And it may just be playing on a new team or not knowing what people are going to want to do. But you know you're getting on your demo first, which like every medic in the whole world does, and then you're going back to weeks. If weeks is or your other soldier, whichever one's on your side, you're going back to them. If they're above 150 health, I personally challenge you to find a scout and heal somebody other than a soldier. Just try it out, see how it goes. As long as your pocket's at 150 or greater, he can do everything that he needs to do at mid. Plus, ultimately, that means your scouts, once they realize that you'll heal them at mid, they'll come back to you. Because what punishes a lot of newer scouts, which John and Zalfie really aren't newer scouts, but in case you ever end up on a team with people other than them, once your scouts realize that they'll heal you, I'll talk about what just happened in a second. Once they realize that you'll heal them, they'll come back to you at mid, and you'll find that you're going to win a lot more mids when your scouts do their initial aggression and then come back. You can get 185. Now, what went wrong there was you got attacked by a scout and you plus backed. You don't want to do that. It sounds counterintuitive to run at a scout, but running to the body of any teammate around is your best bet to survive a scout. One, it's easier for that player to hit them, as the scout's running at them too. Or the scout will stop moving, thus being easier to hit.
Alert. The control point is being contested.
And you get the back cap going as they're trying to get fancy. Weeks a little touch. Yeah, there you go. There's a scout. I don't like how you're sitting down in the valley. You need to be quicker about getting up the slope. Just turn and run. I know you got killed by some stuff in the valley and that was ugly, but that's other people's fault. You can't let it color the way you play. Just tell somebody to watch the valley more strongly and get up on mid. Because basically at mid, I know this it's gonna sound backwards because of how the game is going right now, but the team whose med puts out more heals across more players is going to have a better chance of winning mid. And if you're standing down on the slope not healing anyone, that's a problem. No, Professor Oak, you were dropped by your medic. So, I'm sure you realize what went wrong there.
The control point is being contested.
And now you're all dead. As soon as you lost Professor Oak, you should not have pushed.
Alert. The control point is being captured. Time has been added.
John's a nice guy and all. And maybe he's good at sniper. I can't comment on that personally. But you should heal other people there because it will give them a better chance to contest. I tend to view snipers as generally worthless. Like, maybe they'll get picks, yeah, and that's all well and good. but they're not worth healing unless you're like waiting for picks on last. See, there you did it right. Just right. You body blocked Monsieur Le Scout, and he died instantaneously.
Time has been added.
Oh, traps. Yeah. Sorry, Reginald. That's the funny nature of traps in playing Pocket, is like, you get so used to them being on the ceiling that when they're on the floor, you don't even notice them. John. Don't die twice in a row like that, John. That's just not good. Their pyro's out, which is a really comical arrangement to have. Oh man, of all the people, John is just having a really unlucky time. Alright, so they're forward holding. The way you break a forward hold is to pull your medic on up here. Now, they have a pyro stopping you, so you're gonna have to use scouts. Or I would challenge you. Let me just have a teachable moment. You remember how earlier John died trying to get in the door? If now we know for sure, for a fact, that they are forward holding, you should attempt, after John died the first time, this is what you could have done. He saw, everybody likely knew that they were pushed way up on bats. Step one, the demo is sticking the shutter doors. They're doing a traditional forward hold. John, step one, dead ringer spy. Step two, disguise yourself as a friendly soldier. Do it again and again until you come up as Reginald Peppercock. Then you have the medic heal you for a while, and then you walk in the door blindly with your dead ringer out and get killed. Then your medic, if Kissme is really on the ball, whatever bind comes out when he pops Uber, he'll hit that, just the bind, just the voice bind, not the actual Uber. And that'll sound like he popped in an effort to save Reginald, who isn't really dead. And then you just walk, John would walk all the way to last, the dead ringer comes off, GG. That's the easiest way to break a forward hold. The other way to break a forward hold is to just tease doors until you can get in. I don't really like this way of doing it. But you successfully got in lobby, and they have Uber still, so that's a problem. If I have to hazard a guess, they're going to try to push out with it, and then they're going to get backcapped.
Alert! The control point is being captured. Time has been added.
Oh, Zalfie giving him the jukes. Oh, God.
Alert! Our control point is being captured.
Alright, so they can't really forward hold because they don't have a demo man. That soldier goes looking for a medic and finds only Twitch John. So that was a sniper. A little bit different looking there, I guess.
Time has been added.
They are tremendously behind this pyro thing. You're good. Life is good. You guys could push soon. Maybe you're not aware of your Uber advantage. You're unaware of the fact that Zalfi killed their medic earlier, and that you had like 30-40% advantage. So they have a pyro. You can fix that. So right now you should be prepping to suicide somebody. I have a really unique tactic for that, but you're gonna have to... We'll see if you guys know what to do. No, you're just gonna go at it straight up. Now you need to stay back. You need to stay well back of this. Yeah, there you go. Good, good, good. Weeks dies, unfortunately. And you're just European style recycling. Dropping down on the ground there was bad for your health. Oh, okay, your demo's there, okay. Makes sense. You guys did that about as well as you could have. Weeks died a little early, but I presume he's playing Roamer. So that's gonna happen from time to time. I'd encourage you, instead of doing the European Uber recycle, which is essentially what you guys did, to just run the suicide, get John back on sniper, or whatever you feel like doing. Run your own heavy. NG. No, don't run away from the scout. Don't run away from the scout. Okay, good enough. You've got full-on Uber advantage. So it's time to pop Uber and win games. I would like to see more people get into this Uber.
The control point is being captured.
So the mistake that went down here was a team one. You had to know that the medic was dead. And when their medic is, when you've got huge Uber advantage, you should put 2 or 3, depends on how strong you want to push, people in that Uber. So soldier, demo, scout, 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 soldier, any combination of 3 people plus the medic that your heart could possibly desire. That's what you need to come out of that door with. I mean, obviously don't all crowd through the door at once in case there's a sticky trap, but that's what needs to happen. Solo Ubers are for when they also have Uber. If they don't have Uber, then there is no reason to solo Uber. Because what happened there is people died while Reginald was invincible. You're cut off from your team, so this is dangerous. Reginald was invincible, but nobody else was, and they died. There was no reason for everyone else not to get a little bit of that invincibility loving as well. Alright, so you guys have huge Uber advantage and you're just waiting on your team to come back up, which is fine.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
I will say John had the right idea of capping the point. He was just a little too early. And that might be a communication thing with your team, you know. Like, John knew you were supposed to cap the point, and I figured both your soldiers would just go ahead and go, but they didn't. So that needs to be communicated to prevent that, because now it's an even fight, and you don't want that. You don't want an even fight right now, even though your fight's a little uneven because you do happen to have... Oh no, Professor Oak is dead, so no, you don't. You don't have the professor problems. So somebody needs to get on that point, like, ASAP.
Alert. The control point is being contested.
Moving trash. They pop Uber, run away. Run all the way away. Hopefully you'll surf a rocket. Nope. Yeah, you could have tried to dodge some of those a little bit better. You could have tried to surf something to get out. Standing still so that they try to shoot your feet is pretty much a
The
guaranteed
control
way
point
to
is
do
being
that.
contested.
But yeah, you were just too close when they popped to actually escape from that.
Time has been added.
So here we are at forward. I would hang out on Gray Bridge for about, 10 seconds. And then you're probably going to have to back up. Yeah. They're all kinds of overextended. You should push mid right now. It sounds really dumb because they're about to get Uber, but they don't have a demo. And I don't know your relative experience. I know you're playing in open, obviously, but like, if you've played this game long enough, you can do amazing things when their team doesn't have a demo man. Because you can just go all through every choke in the world. Alright, your Uber comes because they pushed too late. And you're down a Professor Oak, so that's pretty rough. Tanking your demo there is a good decision. Oh, he has died. It's time to run away.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
You could try to go bats and pressure them. Yeah, trash isn't a good decision. Go bats and shoot some stuff. You lost Professor Oak, it's done.
Time has been added.
Time to run. They've also been building a little more diligently than you guys, and they may just push right now. That may be their best bet. Oh, you're breaking out the pyro too, Twitch John. Playing some Flame Lord. They stuck with their standard classes, which I don't really understand. But, you know, it's a friendly scrim, whatever, so. Some people don't like breaking out the off classes right away. I'd also suggest Kissme not to heal that pyro when you're doing this, because it's of the utmost importance that they not know that there's a pyro there. And every time you heal him and break the beam, he's gonna make pyro noises like he did when he took that splash damage, and they're gonna know you have a pyro, and then your pyro isn't going to work. Yeah. See, they brought the scout in because they knew about your little pyro secret, and I mean, it's probably because he took that splash damage, but just don't heal him until the last second, or he'll go or whatever a pyro says when you break your heal beam from him, and then they know. It's just like running a sniper. You know, you don't want the other team to run a sniper, so you can't heal him right away, or you can't take the beam off of him. Same with Spy and Heavy. Well, an undisguised Spy, you just can't heal him. Like, that would be a silly thing to do. There's a really great video from the Mihai's Flow season where Ruin is playing Heavy and Pure starts to heal him, and Ruin goes, no, don't do it, they'll hear it, they'll know. And so Brad just stares at him like, okay, whatever. And then they show up and he, you know, flashes Ruin with the 450 and they kill everything. Alright, you've got a pick. I don't really like defensive sniper on Badlands, but you guys are winning, so, you know, whatever. If you want to practice it or have some fun with it, I'm sure Zalfie knows what he's doing. You lose John, but it's okay. Now you lose Grey Oak. That's not okay. That's a problem. Their medic is still floating around out there with Uber somewhere. Yeah, there he is. Professor Oak getting the business, giving him the business.
Alert. The control point is being contested.
Yep. Good pop. Good pop. Weeks is dying. Where is he? Oh, he's dead. Yeah, you don't... When you're running away on Grey Bridge with the shutter door, pretty much any map that has a shutter door like that, don't hop to try to surf the rockets. You have to... And we don't want that to happen to you. You know, it's one of those bad habits of playing medic where, like, your back is turned, you know they're shooting at you, so, you know, spam crouch jump to try to surf away, but don't do it when you're about to go into a shutter door or you're gonna surf up the wall and die. Alright, yeah, good decision. Bail, bail, bail. Pull out the needles, the needles, the needles. Oh. Oh well. Nothing you could have done. And, because Reginald and Professor Oak are great, you could still win mid.
Time has been added.
So we're here with the standard set. I would actually encourage you guys to push right now. They're one down. Time to give them the business. You don't need to wait on Uber. Plus, you've got such an Uber advantage. Oh, well, maybe no. KC isn't a player. So, it was so close that you guys could have pushed early and you would have gotten really deep into them and then popped. So, you know, that'd be a situation where maybe you would hold down mouse 2 as you pushed just to get the perfect Uber. But you've let that opportunity slip away, and now we're at a stalemate. So either Weeks is going to have to give his life, or Twitch John or Professor Oak's going to have to school somebody on 1v1 Scout DM. Or somebody's medic's going to have to walk into 2 pipes in the face. Oh, well, there's one for you. And Professor Oak dies. You guys need to back up. They're going to push on you. The reason that you back up is because you need to buy time for your team, for them to come out, to get disorganized in pushing on you, and then you pop. Now, you lost Professor Oak. That was what caused them to push, but he's back. So, you negate their man advantage by putting space between yourself and them, so that by the time they get to you and finally pop your Uber, whatever they pushed over is back. And it's a 6v6 fight, and if you've gotten lucky, you got frags on them as they were chasing you around the map, and now you have the number and Uber advantage, and you've screwed them out of their point. Sorry about that interruption. But yeah, you put space between them so you negate all of their advantages. Now they still have Uber advantage, and they've yet again gone to the secret pyro strat. What you guys need to do is stop engaging that pyro and just go the other way. And then kill them with your height advantage. And Flare Magnet John. Unlucky days. So you should be setting up to suicide, or you'll do your European dry push thing again. Professor Oak wants it. Oh, you're gonna try and chariot. Yeah, go that way. So you've got the Uber out. You should push through main or some other way. There you go. Professor Oak's doing work. Everybody wants some medic. They're falling apart, and you're going to get this round.
Control point is being captured.
Alright, and this will be the last round, I imagine. Yeah, 6 minutes remain. We'll go out of cam for this one and just see what happens at mid. Your demo's nice and pushed up, I like that. Soldiers are coming in, now go heal scouts. You should be healing scouts right now. See who got all the kills and stuff? It was actually Reginald. So, and you weren't even healing him, so, you know, your demo doesn't need to have heals tanked onto him like that, because he wasn't in any danger. You need to move yourself forward, be a little less afraid on mid.
Time has been added.
Oh, Pyro again. So you are aware of the fact they have a Pyro. But they also don't have Uber, so a nice Chariot Uber plus Soldier. Well played, Weeks, and you get that one. So I'm going to go dig around in my treasure trove of demos to try and find a medic healing on Badlands mid in a way that doesn't involve tanking the demo quite so much. Show you kind of an example. So while I talk, we'll watch some vintage Harblue. This is from season 10, I think. But I had it laying around, so why not show it? Especially since Harblue's making his glorious return to Medic. So, what I'd like to see happen at mids for you is, yes, heal your demo. You know, heal your demo first. But then you should have a scout to heal. Whether it's John or Professor Oak, whichever one works for you. Find a scout to heal, get them as many heals as you can justify, and then make sure you're keeping your heals forward. Because, particularly that last mid, you know, Reginald did most of the killing of things that I saw, at least in the kill feed, and he wasn't getting heals. Your demo, who was safely tucked away, was. You don't want to do that. And if anything about your personal game was, there are moments where you dodge very correctly, where you do the right thing, and then there are times where your dodging isn't quite so apt. And I go over those, so hopefully you'll use those as sort of teachable moments. But the main weakness in your game is your healing at mid. Is you're really, really afraid. And that's, you know, I like to take the opinion of, I'm going to die at 80% of mids anyways. And it could be the quality of the teams that you're used to playing, where you can get away with playing like that and not die. But against higher skill level teams, the worst place to be is clear in the back. Someone is going to kill you every time if you do that. So it's you know, it's something that you'll find being less and less effective, so you need to change it now. Especially, and you know, as you play better teams, since you guys may go to playoffs, I haven't checked your record. You'll probably meet some teams that might be able to beat up old Reginald or somebody somewhere along the line. And you want him to have the heals that he needs, so you need to play aggressively with your heals. And if you die, then your team just needs to know that their medic needs to die too. I think this is actually the illustrious Harblue gets trapped on the wrong side mid. No, I was wrong. Anyways, so make sure you're trying to heal scouts. You know, don't run in and die trying to heal a scout or anything silly like that. I'm not suggesting that. Just try and heal the people that are fighting and need it the most. Put out as many heals as you can. And if you die, you die. You didn't do anything wrong. and your team needs to know to kill their med. And in the event that their med dies, then they just form a protective heal bubble around you, and life is good and life is easy. On last push, a couple of your guys, as far as like team stuff that I saw, you guys didn't deal very well with their forward hold, which you can break by walking up the spire and just coming in, which is pretty much what they're doing right now in the demo. They're just they're approaching it as if they were forward holding. So that's essentially all you need to do, and then you need to have somewhere to come back to. Well, TLR dropped that quick. Somewhere to fall back to, like Harblue just did. He knew his whole team was going to be there, and said, that's something you'll learn or you can work out with your team. Where do you go once the Uber's off? And also forcing more people through Supreme Uber Advantage pushes. You used Reginald for some solo Ubers that didn't need to be solo Ubers. And, yeah, and if you face a Pyro and they have Uber, don't run with the Pyro. If he's dumb enough to show you where he is, just avoid him, and he's completely and utterly useless. So yeah, other than that, I didn't really see anything too bad. I was pretty pleased with some of your dodging. Meds were a little weak. Last pushing was okay. There were some times where you seemed confused, but yeah, on the whole, not so bad. And best of luck. And I hope you enjoyed, and feel free to submit more. And I will gladly frontline any demos for this